welcome to the Global Premier Football Show. This is a fantastic weekend. It's been a glorious weekend for the FIFA World Cup going on in Qatar. And today we're just going to look into what happened in Group C and Group D and Group A and Group F. Wow, that's a lot to talk about. What we're going to make it precise so that you don't really get bored with our talking. I'm sure that you've already maybe have seen the game, but yes, we need to talk about what happened. So Shaquille, here with me again on the show. Welcome to the show, Shaquille.
Hey, thank you. Go Blues.
I know that your dream has come true by Canada losing her 2 games, and you just wanted them to head back home as soon as possible. I know that you had your reasons for that. And congratulations on your dream coming true. Not every Canadian will like you for now, but again, it is what it is in the game. And sorry about that, Canada. Commiserations. And we're looking forward to 2026 with the Canadian national team. They've made history and at least scoring their first ever World Cup goal. But anyway, let's look into what happened the day before. In Group C, we had Argentina beating Mexico by 2-0. Mexico is still yet to get their first goal in this ongoing World Cup. And honestly speaking, I don't know what's going on with the Mexican national team and their handler, Tata Martino. And then Poland, again, we thought that Saudi Arabia would repeat the same thing they did, but I think they became overconfident or something, lost focus a little bit, and they were down 2-0. And then France did what World Cup champions will do, and went ahead 1-1, and they stepped up their game. That's one thing I think I like about France. 2-1, they won against Denmark. And then Japan surprised again. You think Japan will continue what they did by beating Germany. They went to sleep. Costa Rica came back, beat them 1-0. That opens up that group, because Germany today would have been 1 foot away from losing out of the World Cup if they had, lost the game today. But again, they did not lose. By tying the game and by Costa Rica winning, they are still very much in it. And their last group game is going to be interesting. Belgium, the upset of the weekend. Oh, what a game. What a game from Morocco. Morocco, they were brilliant from every aspect of the game. Kevin De Bruyne said that they are an old team. They are not what they used to be, and everyone should agree with him. I personally agree with him. They are not the team that they used to be before, and that's how they lost today. Energy, zero, concentration, everything, just a shadow of themselves from what they were in the last World Cup in Russia. Morocco destroyed Belgium 2-0. Croatia destroyed Canada 4-1. Canada scored their first ever World Cup goal, and we think that they are going to, keep the momentum going. And lo and behold, they lost focus where they should maintain focus, and that was the midfield. And the Croatians took over, created 4-1. They won. The game of the weekend was Spain against Germany. This is like a World Cup final in the group stage. The first time 2 champions or 2 former champions in the group stage of the World Cup, and it ended 1-1 each. Shaq.
One game you missed was Tunisia versus Australia.
Exactly. Tunisia, unfortunately,
did not do well. No.
Unfortunately, they did not receive repeat the same thing that they did against Denmark, where they tied 0-0. I mean, they tried, because I watched their game, and they pushed very hard towards the end, but it was not good enough. I mean, Australia defended very, very hard. Their goalkeeper was, always in the right place at the right time. And lo and behold, 1-0 in favor of Australia. That also gives Australia a chance to qualify when they play Denmark. And Denmark will have to work very hard to be able to make it to the next group stage. To the next round, the round of 16. So, Shaq, let's look into some games here. Let's talk about Argentina and Mexico. That was the game that took place yesterday, a Group C game. What do you make of that? Messi inspirational. I saw some memes online. It says Mexico. So what do you make of that and the performance of the Argentine team?
Argentina was the same as they were against Saudi Arabia. I mean, if Mexico kept marking the players, they could have kept the game in their hand. I have observed that 60 to 70 minute mark is like the critical moment for every game, and
Yes.
the teams do really well until 60th minute, 70th minute, and then they start to lose focus. And that's what we saw in Mexico's game, that Mexico could not mark. There was a lot of space. Even after the first goal, Messi, after the first goal, Argentina just had upper hand, and they were just, again, once you're one down, you want to go 1-1, and you have to play an open game. So yeah, my poor performance from Mexico, and the subs were really, really poor. Like, it was not like, I don't know what the coach was thinking. You have to make those critical decisions. Yes.
I think again that I think you nailed the points there, because yes, Mexico, right from the qualifiers, the qualifiers, Mexico has not been a good team at all. The presence of the coach Tata Martino, who was a former Barcelona coach, former Argentine national team coach. For me, he doesn't have what it takes to coach Mexico. Mm-hmm. I don't tactically, he's off it. I mean, off the mark completely. The midfield was getting tired, as you mentioned. You cannot close space. 70th minute, you rightly mentioned it, is a critical moment. It's either you keep your head in the game, step up your game, because you have 90 minutes of football to play, right? And again, FIFA has been adding extra minutes for time wasted, for substitutions, for injuries, everything. Yes. That's why we have these extra minutes in the game. And that gives you like 26 to 30 minutes extra from the 70th minute mark. And Mexico, the midfield was poor, very poor. At the beginning, they were good. They were closing space. But at that moment, that is where the coach should have refreshed the midfield. Remove Hector Herrera, who is old, who is no more playing at the highest level, now playing in Major League Soccer in the United States. And he used to play for Atletico Madrid. So, but nothing happened. Instead, he removed the players that maybe were even making impact, and he left the midfield wide open. No closing of space against Messi. Even the second goal as well. You wait for, I don't know. I mean, as a coach, I tell players, you must be on time or early before the ball gets to the opposition's feet. So it's either you arrive at the time the ball is getting to his feet. But look again, Messi had time, controlled the ball, set himself up, and took a shot. No one was close to him. As the shot left his foot, that was when the midfielder arrived. Hector Herrera was very, very poor. And as you mentioned, the substitutions were the most awful substitutions that I have seen in this World Cup. Every team that makes substitution, what they do is that the substitutes come in and they make the same impact or much more higher impact. Look at Germany today. Look at the other teams when they make substitutions. Mexico's substitution was off the mark, nothing to improve, nothing to add to the team. But again, kudos to Argentina. There they are on course for the next round. And it's going to be an interesting game in the last group game for Group C. So anyway, we cannot take it away from Argentina. No matter what. Yes, I'm Mexican. I wanted Mexico to get something out of the game, even if it is a draw, which was what I was thinking would happen. But again, it didn't happen. Congratulations to Messi and Argentina. Mexico will have to dig in deep in their last group game to make sure that they're qualified. Saudi Arabia still has a chance to qualify. So that group is very much wide open.
Yeah.
What about, let's talk about France and Denmark.
Oh, France, even though conceding first goal, I think, no, they scored first and then they conceded.
They scored first, yes.
Yeah, we talked about Mbappe. He's in great form. He puts in a lot of effort. He enjoys the game. He's not under any pressure. And he has the midfield to back him up. I think that's the only team France is the only team right now who's being successful at scoring goals on crosses. Any other team, their crosses are poor. And what I've noticed, as you mentioned, that a lot of teams just cross in the air and hoping that someone will find. Even today's game against Canada, they were like, you have to pass. Crossing on the floor is really hard, and you have to look and then pass and cross. Only France is able to do that, because of course France has a really strong squad. And I mean, I I expected them to win, and Denmark was poor positioning, poor. They got tired and they lost focus. Same thing, 70 mark. After that, the goal came in, and
yeah, the first two goals came in the 61st and 68th minute, so 7 minutes apart of the goals. But again, the second goal came in the 86th minute from Mbappe. Now, I had a friend of mine who's been on this show before. He was not happy that Didier Deschamps had subbed off Oliver Giroud, from in the game, because he was actually playing well, taking away that concentration on Mbappe, because it's not Mbappe that's the only one that can score in France. Giroud scores goals as well, and creates chance and space for others to also, do a good job. But I was telling him, I mean, the coach, I think, needed to refresh the team. The tempo of the game, as the game goes, wears down, some teams start going down in terms of the physicality, in terms of speed. But what has France done? France reshuffles. France brings in players that keep the tempo of the game. And I think that was what the coach was going for, to keep the tempo of the game. It's not necessarily that the player coming in must be better than the player that started the game, but that for him to keep the same momentum, keep the same, pace of the game. And that's how, France got their second goal. Again, I would say this, that France is the only team that when they concede, they improve.
Yeah,
they step up their game. Whenever they concede, they step up their game. Reason why? I don't know what they've got, but I think their mental strength and their psychological approach to the game is very high. That's why they always do that. And again, they have the players that are, I think it's also a unified team, a team that is together. So they do that to work for each other, to bring out the best in each other. So kudos to France. Denmark still have a chance to qualify, but is going to take something else. They'll be playing Australia, in their last group game, and France has already qualified. Is the only team that has clearly qualified, in this, of all the teams that have played so far. That's very, very interesting. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Denmark against Australia, because Australia will do everything to stay in the tournament. But again, I think at the end of the day, Denmark would win against Australia. That's my thoughts, though.
Yeah, Denmark will win against Australia.
So moving ahead here, let's talk about Canada and Croatia. Now, before this game happened, the Canadian national team. Now, I see why you are really upset with the Canadian national team. I don't think maybe there was no humility from the coach. I was reading, a report today on BBC Sports, where the Croatian coach was saying that the Canadian coach, John Herdman, should show some respect to Croatia, because they were second in the last World Cup. Instead of saying the things that he said, that they would go and they will F Croatia, that they belong at the big stage, so they'll go and F Croatia in today's game. I don't think that was necessary. I don't think that that's the right thing to say to motivate your team to go and to play a good game. At the end of that is, for me, you are insulting the other team. Football is fair play, whether on the pitch and off the pitch, and I don't know, I think this also motivated Croatia to do the game, to play the game that they played to get there. They rubbished Canada after they considered first. They stepped up their game, took control of the midfield. They run down the midfield. Kovacic, the best midfield dribbler that I can see so far in this tournament. The way he carried the ball, he moved, he used his energy to support Modric, who is aging. I think for me, he should be the man of the match, although he was not the man of the match. But it shows again that Croatia was out to destroy Canada after what their coach said. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you said everything. I don't have any problem when coaches can say they're like, we watch Premier League, and the coaches don't say, oh, this team is this and this, we're going to do this. They say we're going to have a fair challenge, and they have a good team. That's how you motivate the team and you say things like we're here to win. Even if Canada did win today, I would give them respect where it's due. But the way they played, they had their first goal, but after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, when we saw that Croatia keeping possessions, pressing in the opposition penalty box, and that's where Canada should have stepped up and play pressing games. I don't know, that's the big difference between top teams or experienced teams who have played big tournaments, is that they understand one goal means nothing. Like you don't get complacent there. Yeah, you can always concede goal anytime.
Let me jump in here a little bit. I was listening to this guy. I can't remember his name on TSN. He's a former Canada international, and he made a statement which I reckoned with. Tactically, Canada did not get it right. I mean, I think the emotion, the emotional part of the game took over the coach, that he forgot his tactical approach to this game. Now, he did not have the right personalities in the midfield to contend with Croatia and to keep them in place, which was what Morocco did. They disconnected Luka Modric and Kovacic from the game completely, even Brozovic. Those three midfielders, Morocco disarmed them completely. And when you disarm these three midfielders, their wingers cannot play. And this was what Canada lacked today. Atiba Hutchinson, with all due respect, he played for the best part of the 20 minutes when they scored 30 minutes. But again, he's old, wearing down, and as the game went on.
That's someone who is 39, right?
Yeah, he is. What's his name? Eustachio as well, that plays for FC Porto. They could not contend with the midfield, with the Croatian midfield. And when you leave those three players, Brozovic, Modric, and Kovacic, free, they are going to destroy you. And that is what happened today with Canada against against Croatia. So again, tactical, those details that you have to take in. I mean, for me, I would say, even if you don't have the skillful midfielder, bring in someone who is going to work, who is going to run, who is going to put in tackles, who is going to cut off the passes. That was what Canada was missing today when they played Croatia. Because if they were able to have those players in place, I'm telling you, they would have been able to contend with them throughout the duration of the game. But they did not. And once you lose the midfield against Croatia, forget it. You're done. You're dusted.
Yeah, all I can say is, they scored their first World Cup goal, and that's a big achievement.
Yes.
Keep doing better.
Yeah, all the best to them as they prepare for the next one. They are one of the host nations, so no more qualifiers for them, but they will have time to prepare, and also they will need to bring in more better players in their midfield, because their midfield is old, aging, will not make it to the next one. So they need players that can be able to help with that. And finally, the final before the finals, even before the round of 16, Spain and Germany. Germany losing today. Luckily for them, even if they had lost today, they will not still be living, because Costa Rica beat Japan. If Japan had tied with Costa Rica and Germany lost today, it will be all over for the Germans. Again,
my thoughts
to them for keeping themselves in the game, and they should thank Costa Rica for beating Japan. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it was a good game. I was expecting this to happen. I was actually thinking Germany might win. They had more chances, and Rudiger's first goal was on offside. It was very close, very tight. Spain had chances, but I think Germany was better team. Overall, it's debatable, but again, when you put under pressure, you start performing. And I don't know, just Spain scoring 7 goals and now tying. It's Spain.
I mean, it also depends on the opposition. So let's because Germany is not anyhow. It's not an anyhow opposition. Germany is a world power in football, and again. Yes, Spain had the upper hand in the possession, but Germany were more They were more dangerous in their counter-attacks. They were more direct. Spain is not a counter-attacking team. A lot of times, Spain tried to counter-attack with Williams on the right. He will always be cut down. He will always be cut short. They will always bring him down. But again, Germany were playing for their lives. They knew that they had to get something out of this game by all means, and they achieved it. It was not a win,
especially after Japan lost.
Very,
if Japan didn't lose, Germany might have played very differently.
Yeah, I think they would have played differently too. Yeah. Yes, they had more chances on goal. Total 11, more on target, more off target. Inside the penalty box, they had more touches, and outside the penalty, that was the only place where Spain had more. Final third entries, they operated more on the left flank. I mean, Spain operated more on the left flank, actually, with 12. That was where their goal came from, right? Yes. And then on the right channel, it was 3. On central channel, Germany operated stronger in the midfield as well. And on the right channel, which was where the assist for their goal came through as well. And, this tells you all these teams had a way of, they have their strong sides on the game. And the best teams, what they do is that strong area, they keep operating through that strong area. Most of the time, it works for them. So, again, good game between Germany and Spain. I think the World Cup, it gets interesting. I mean, over and over as the games come thick and fast, it gets interesting. So I think that's all we have for today. But tomorrow there will be Group G and Group H games. Cameroon will be playing Serbia, Korea, and Ghana. Brazil, Switzerland without Neymar. Portugal and Uruguay. I think that's the game of the day for tomorrow. It's going to
be a good game, yes.
What do you make of those games? What's your prediction before we call it a day on this one?
Brazil is going to win. Cameroon and Serbia might be a tie. South Korea and Ghana wins. It's going to be a really tough match for Ghana. It's not easy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Portugal and Uruguay. I don't know. I think it's going to be Portugal might win, very close. Uruguay, both teams are very similar.
Uruguay I think Portugal will win. Brazil will win. For Ghana and Korea, I don't really know much. I have my mixed reactions to this. I think it might be a tie, although I would want Ghana to win. But again, you have to be realistic on the way teams approach a game. Cameroon and Serbia. Serbia is going to come out to play this game and try to win because of they're playing for their lives, and I know how this team plays. But Cameroon, they will have to also play for their lives because 2 of them lost their first group game. So it's up to them to do whatever they want to make out of that game. But who do I think will win? It might be a tie. I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we'll have for now. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, and enjoy the rest of the games for tomorrow. We'll bring back to you again the Global Premier Football Show, where we'll discuss tomorrow's games. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your game wherever you are, wherever you may be. Bye for now.
Bye.